All right, I am back, and I've been pretty busy the last few weeks. I was in Chicago a couple weeks ago. I guess there was a contest going on, YouTube Hall of Fame or something like that, and I guess I got a few votes. I appreciate that. I watched some of the videos. It was interesting to see some of those other channels that are out there that I had no idea existed. So anyway, this is Friday Night Vintage, and I have a handful of vintage cards. Well, I guess mostly vintage, and I'll show you in a minute. Of all baseball, I'm gonna just kind of showcase here real quick. I have 6 total. And so first off, this one I guess could be questionable vintage. It's from 1980 tops, and depending on who you talk to, it's almost 40 years old now. So at some point, this becomes a vintage card, right? It's Nolan Ryan. It's a PSA 9. And that's the most recent of the cards that I have here. So really nice card. I had a story about this card. Maybe I'll save it for later. Spare you the details. But anyway, that's 80 tops Nolan Ryan. And up next, I actually following through on one of my New Year's resolutions, and for collecting anyway. And for the first time in over 2 years, I added to the Mickey Mantle collection, and I picked up the 1954 Red Heart dog food card. And this is 4.5. So what's left for me as far as I'm concerned with regard to base cards are the 54 and 55 Bowman. And then I'll consider maybe the All-Star cards. I'm not really a big fan of the combo cards, but it's the first Mickey Mantle pickup since I purchased his rookie card, Bowman rookie card, like I said, well over 2 years ago. And these have slowly but surely climbed in value. While I was out buying other stuff, these have also gone up in price, but so I had to settle for a 4.5 grade. And that's my range for the 54 Bowman. I actually was looking to pick one up from, I was watching an auction from Pre-War Card Collector. Man, his stuff goes for premium prices, and there was a 4.5 he had for auction, and ended up going for like $900. It's ridiculous. So it was definitely a nice card, but I think he gets a lot of money for his cards. And deservedly so. He puts out high quality auctions. So, all right. So moving on, I have here probably my favorite Munson card. A lot of folks like the 71 tops, but I really like this one here. This is the 73 tops, and I do own this card raw, but doubtful that it's a PSA 9 worthy card. Maybe it's an 8, 7, or 8. So I picked up this 9 from 73. So again, I just like this card. I got the blurred out crowd in the background, and him just there in the catcher's position, waiting for a pitch. So really cool. The 71, forget about that one in this grade. 71 Munson, like even an 8, I think goes for a few $1,000. So really insane pricing on the 71s because of the difficulty in getting them in high grade. Okay, so up next is a really nice 1964 Hank Aaron card. I like the centering on this one a lot. It looks better than a 7, to be quite honest. I think up on closer examination, there are some printing issues that you could see. But whatever, I just thought it was presented really well. I was looking for like a 7.5 or maybe an 8, but it was like this one looked just as good as anything I'd seen on there, like 8-wise. So I grabbed this. So 64 Aaron, and then let's see. I like this card a lot because it's not a fan of combo cards, but I like this because it's got 3 of the all-time greatest players without question. It's from 1973 tops, and this is number 1, card number 1. At the time, the all-time home run leaders, Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, and Willie Mays. And just a personal favorite of mine, this particular card. If you look on the back, really off-centered. You have to wonder if Ruth, he didn't start putting up home runs, I think, until 1919, it looks like here. So the first few years, he was a pitcher. And I'm not sure if this was the dead ball era where the ball, like in 1918, he had 11 home runs, and then he went to 29. So I'm not sure. There was a dead ball era way back when where nobody was hitting home runs regardless. But you look at the total of 714, you kind of wonder if the first 4 years here, he was averaging maybe 15, 20 home runs a year, he'd still maybe be the home run king. But that belongs to Bonds on paper anyway. So anyway, a nice card. Card number 1 in the set. Hard to get a nice grade because usually, well, even I did as a kid, had these cards in rubber bands and stacks, and card number 1 was always on the top. So this is a nice PSA 8. There's a nice 8.5 on eBay right now, but the seller wants way too much money for it. And I actually messaged him privately about working a deal, and he just wasn't interested. This was substantially less money than the 8.5 and looks, I'd say, just as good. So glad to have that one. And lastly, kind of like going back to the 71 Topps discussion, I do have one here, and it's a big one. It's not the Munson, but it is the Nolan Ryan. This is a PSA 8. Looks really good. The centering looked better. Looked better in the scan, but it's still pretty decent. I would say it's maybe 60-40 left to right. And this is just a classic card. It might be part of that 300 cards thing. I know a lot of people like this card. I like it too, so I was glad to get this and get it out of the way. Check it off the list. So really, really sharp. I mean, I'm looking at the borders here, and it just looks really good. Hard to get this, nearly 50-year-old card in high grade, just because these things are prone to showing white on the edges and whatnot. So anyhow, that's all I have for this particular episode, Friday Night Vintage. And one last look. Got that damn glare in there. Probably And that'll do it. So once again, thanks for watching, and I will talk to y'all later.